Oh my goodness. Yes, that's Audrey's screen. Okay, there we go.
Okay, now we got it.
We stole it.
Okay. So just to add to what Missy just said about KB Core being expensive at other brokerages, not only do they charge you for the program, but they charge you for training. So if you had KB Core at, you know, another agency, you would basically just have the program. You wouldn't have a person to teach you it. You would have to pay $100 an hour for a KB Core coach to teach you it. So it is expensive, and it really is just a great program. And, you know, I really just like teaching people it because it really is a cool program. So some people have been asking me about Weichert Lead Network leads lately. So I figured I would just kind of go through how those kinds of work. I know we have a lot of agents that get a lot of rental leads, and we do have some people that also get buyer and seller leads. So I just wanted to show you kind of what happens in my Weichert. So what happens is every time a Weichert.com lead comes into the system, it's added a hashtag to it. So the hashtags are used to determine what campaign a customer falls into, you know, depending on what type of lead they are. And actually there could be leads with more than one hashtag assigned. So right there on my little screenshot, you can see where the hashtags are located, and this person has 2 hashtags assigned to them. So what are the statuses and hashtags for new leads? So here's a little chart. The scenario would be cold. So if it was a cold transfer to you, the My Weichert status is the new lead status. The hashtag that would be added is WDC, which stands for Weichert.com _cold. And the campaign that would be assigned would be a combination of system-generated messages to the lead and sales associate follow-up tasks. Again, these are all added by the Welcome Center. So this is not something that you are changing or adding within My Weichert. They actually come in this way for you. So if the scenario would be a warm transfer, so a specific property that they were looking at, it would be an active lead, and it would be WDC _ warm. And a campaign that would be assigned to them would be an initial welcome message, and then there will be some follow-up tasks for the sales associate for once a week. So for every seven days. So an initial email will go to the lead, and then it will just generate a task for the sales associate to complete. So call, leave a message, you know, send a text, send an email, and you'll see those when you log into your My Weichert every day. And then the third scenario there is if a customer agrees to receive text messages online or in the Welcome Center, the My Weichert status would be a new lead or an active lead, and it would be WDC _ allow SMS. SMS is text. And the campaign associated, it would be a generated text message to the customer because they've given us permission to do so. And it could even be for a cold transfer customer, so not just warm. So both cold and so that's where that second hashtag would come into play. So some examples: a cold transfer lead that has agreed to receive text messages would have the new lead status, and the hashtags that would be assigned would be WDC _ cold and hashtag WDC allow SMS. Second example there, if you have a warm transfer lead that did not agree to receive text messages, it would be active, and it would just be WDC warm. It wouldn't have that allow SMS hashtag. Any questions on that so far? Okay. So how are the statuses defined? So the My Weichert has 8 statuses, but for Weichert Lead Network leads or Weichert Rental Network leads, you are unable to use archive. So it really only has 7 statuses available. So the status is, whether it's an active lead or a client, when do you select it? You select it when that client, that contact is actively looking for homes or actively selling their home, or a client is used when the associate has contacted the lead. So when there's a communication between you and the contact. And the campaign that's laid out for them is a follow-up task is assigned to the associate every 7 days to follow up with the lead. So again, you're probably already following up with them, so it only generates a task for you. So it doesn't actually do any emails for you. There's no auto-generated things that happen to the lead itself because it is active and you're already working with them. So it's not necessary to do those auto messaging. If you choose contract, obviously it's when the lead goes under contract for their home or when they're buying a home. The campaign is leads count toward, this actually counts towards your conversion rate and weekly follow-up tasks continue. And then when the transaction is closed, you obviously put them in the closed status, and the leads, these leads also count towards your conversion rate, but there are no weekly follow-up tasks, so a little bit different than contract. So there's Sphere, Prospect, and Archive. These don't necessarily are not appropriate for Weichert Lead Network leads because Sphere is like your friends and family, and Prospect is, at this point, they're not a prospect because they have actually shown interest in properties or they're showing interest in selling their property. They're not really a prospect anymore. And an Archive, they use Archive in lieu of deleting. You're not able to delete. So you can put people in the archive status. If you, for some reason, want to give a lead back to Weichert Lead Network, so it's exhausted, you can't get into hold of the person, or you've spoken to the person and they're not ready to move forward, or you're not interested in working with the person, you can actually add a hashtag yourself. That's WDC_return lead. So again, you're not able to archive, but you are able to send them back. Any questions on that? So how are the hashtags defined? So there's WDC warm and WDC cold, which we've kind of already gone through. And then there's the WDC allow SMS. And then there's the WDC return lead, which I went over if you want to give them back. But there's also something WDC long-term active. So that's if you have a lead that's in there and they're not ready to move forward, but you are interested in continuously doing work with, doing follow-up with them. So maybe they're interested in moving in 6 months, a year. You can actually add the hashtag yourself. And what will happen is if you add the hashtag WDC long-term active, the other hashtags kind of fade away, and they're actually put on a new campaign automatically that will automatically follow up with them every 28 days. So any campaign that they were already on, even if you don't delete those hashtags, which you can't delete them anyway, you can just add this hashtag and a new campaign will start and the other campaign will be stopped. So that's if you still want to keep them in your system, but you are not working with them currently. So it's kind of nice to have that as well. And anything that has the hashtag pro-transfer means you originally had it in your Weichert Pro and it's been transferred to your MyWeichert, just so you can kind of decipher where that person came from if you don't recognize it for some reason. Does that make sense, guys? So just some best practices I wanted to tell you guys about, and then I'll give Missy the meeting back. So as a lead moves through the buying and selling process, be sure to change the status to reflect so the WLN campaign automatically changes. So obviously when the person comes in as a new lead and you start speaking with them, what you would want to do is you want to change that status to active or client. This way, the campaign that originally was assigned to them will stop and a new campaign will be added that reflects that. So it's not saying, well, thank you very much for reaching out. We haven't been in touch. So it doesn't follow those lines anymore. It's more about, thank you so much for talking with me. That kind of verbiage versus the initial emails that happen. If and when you speak with a lead, make sure to pause the campaign they are on if necessary. So again, some of the campaigns are very basic and beginner in that it's, it seems like the lead just came in. It's not really appropriate once you've spoken to them. Okay. And one last best practice. Unfortunately, within the contact screen, you are not able to review the campaign that they are on. So if you wanted to review the campaign that your clients are on or your contacts are on, what you would want to do is you would want to go into your marketing autopilot And then you can see all of the WLN campaigns. And you're able to actually click on them and see what's going on, what happens next, what happens first, what happens last, and how long the campaign's running for. You are unable to edit it. You can pause it, but you cannot edit the campaign because these campaigns are across the entire company. So these are locked. I can't change them. You can't change them. Missy can't change them. So they're either on or off. So that's for that. So any questions about Weichert Lead Network, hashtag status, anything having to do with that? Okay, guess not. So one last thing, the training calendar for the remainder of the month. Today at 11:30, I'm going to be going over Core Listing Machine and Social, which is really, really good. I put this on Facebook yesterday. It's really good for listing agents, but it also is very good. I know a lot of people are trying to build up their social media presence. A lot of people have said that to me. This is something that you can actually set up your social media to have auto posting. And it's great content too. It's all content having to do with moving and the weather and traveling and food, and just nice content to have on your Facebook to kind of subsidize what you're already doing on there. So maybe something that I'm going to try to keep it under 30 minutes. All right, guys, I have nothing further. Thank you so much for your time, and call me if you need anything.
Yes, and remember, guys, if you're not making a financial investment, make a time investment into the system. It will really change your business. Honest to goodness, it's phenomenal. So our birthdays this month, we have Joe Menino, Catherine Adcock, and Jen Grant. Happy birthday, guys. I see Catherine and Jen on here, so I hope you have a great birthday this month. Our anniversaries, Lauren Iaruzio has been with us 2 years, Dan Drugak, 4 years, and Diane Ladrago, 14 years. I just sat with Diane this week, so it was good to see her. She's still very active in real estate, even though you don't see her a lot in the office. So our October company awards for teams. So, Jackie's known as a team within the company because her and Dominique basically, and Jan and Bill, but Jackie's business is Jackie's business. She does not put under Dominique's business as Dominique's business. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's quite an accomplishment to be on a team and still make it when you're competing against teams with 5, 10 agents that are really putting all their business in that team leader's name. That's not what's happening in Jackie's world. So Jackie is number 3 in dollar volume for the month of October, and tie for 4 with Arlene Ganella in revenue units. So congrats, Jackie. That's really a great accomplishment, especially being a single individual agent, just being compartmentalized as a team because of the way things are set up. And then congratulations to all of you. We were number 4 in the company for dollar volume. Such a great accomplishment, and thank you guys for all your hard work. We were tied for 5 in the company for revenue units, and number 5 in the company for sales. And remember, there's 144 offices. So, number 5 is really awesome. So thank you guys for all your hard work again. I know you've been working your butts off. I know everything is much more complicated now than it ever was before. It's just a crazy, crazy market out there. But you guys are amazing. We have an amazing office. We have one of the most successful offices in the company and in the area. And it's all due to everyone here's hard work. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So some office news. I just received an email last night. As you guys may know or may not know, I am the face of the company, meaning that because my name and number come up when people Google corporate headquarters, and anyone who sits at the front desk knows this, we get all the calls for corporate. So I also get all the emails for anyone in the nation who has a problem or has a compliment or whatever the case may be. So last night I received an email from someone who said that he walked into a Weichert office and not one person was wearing a mask. He walked into the Weichert office because he needed to list his house. Let me mention that, okay? He wanted to list his house, so he walked in and not one person was wearing a mask. So he turned around and walked out. And he wanted me to share this with Jim and James, and he wanted to know if this was our policy. And of course, it's not our policy. So I know how hard it is to wear a mask all day. I'm here 8-9 hours a day, and majority of it I am wearing one if there's someone inside my office. But if you are out, especially if you're at the front desk, you have to be wearing a mask. You just don't ever know when someone's walking in, but we should be in any building or anytime we're in a place, which is not our home, we should be wearing a mask all the time. So I just want to remind you, because someone did mention, an agent mentioned this weekend, they walked in and someone was at the front desk without a mask. So we need to have our masks on all the time because, people are very sensitive to it. Oh, I have a crazy person at the front desk right now. I'll deal with her in a little bit. But anyway, CE credits.
It's me, Catherine. It's me, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi. I'm not on video because I look horrible, but I wanted to let everybody know that I wasn't the one who complained.
It was not Catherine.
I complain a lot about people not wearing masks because I'm super, super freaky about it. But I wasn't the one who
I will confirm it was not Catherine. I will confirm. And it doesn't matter really. The point is, it is a rule now. It's just the way we live right now, and we have to just abide by it. I know how hard it is. Believe me, I do know.
It's a bit. I hate it, but I do it.
Exactly. So.
It's kind of like being married. No, I'm kidding.
She's so fresh. So anyway, I got the answer. So I'll back up for a minute. So CE credits are due by April 30th, 2021. As you know, our license renewal is due the beginning of June of 2021, right? It's every other year on the odd year. So that we know is coming up. So a lot of agents have been asking, because in the past we would do a classroom CE credit, right? With Weichert Real Estate School here. So they put together one that's a distance learning one is what they call it. And it's via Zoom. And I sent it out to everybody yesterday. So everybody should have got my email. I posted on Facebook. So you can go on. The first class is starting 11:30. And then they have 2 in January. On the bottom, there was a footnote that said, does not satisfy NAR COE credits. Okay. And everybody was asking what that meant. Now, COE to me is Circle of Excellence. And I was thinking of units, okay, because sometimes you get a unit, but that's not what it means. So I did get a response from Wayne, the head of the real estate school. So I just want to share that with you now. So in the past, the NAR COE training had to be taken every 4 years. Remember, that was the quadrennial ethics training that we had to take. And then I believe it was last year or 2 years ago, I don't even remember anymore, they had changed it from every 4 years to every 2 years. Okay, so that's separate from the ethics that you have to do with your CE credits. Okay, now the NAR has changed the requirement to every 3 years. Okay, because they want to confuse us some more. Currently, it's now due next December, 12/31/2021. Okay, so it's not due this year, it's due next year. So this has no impact on your CE credits, your 12 CE credits that you're doing this year. Okay, so don't worry, continue as normal. But within the 2021 year, all of us are going to have to take that extra ethics training again, okay? And that's going to have to be additional. But it is not required for our CE credits for this April 30th, 2021, okay? So just know that. The difference now is that the CE course, that they used to have it built into this course, okay? They used to have it be able to build it into this course, but now NAR, you can only get those credits through NAR, okay? So through your local board, and that's the difference. They are not allowing real estate schools to give that class anymore. So we're all going to have to do it now. That's something we did also the last time. So I believe it was 2 years ago, because we had Mary Kano come, remember? And Mary came and she taught that class for you guys. So, you know, I will look out for that and I will share it for you. Obviously, it'll be by Zoom. Obviously, it'll be virtual. So any ones I see coming up, I will make sure I share with you. But just know that you don't have to worry about it for these CE credits. It's not required until the following year. Okay, and then again, just another reminder, NCJR membership is now due. Everyone should have received an email from them. It is $525 for the 2021 year. It is required to be in real estate. Okay, if you're aligned with a brokerage, you have to pay your NCJR membership dues. It's not an option in any way. Okay, and if you want to be in good standing with the local board and be able to have access to an MLS, you have to pay your dues. Now, it's due by January 1st. After January 1st, there is a $75 late fee that they're not going to waive this year. Okay, they've made it very clear. So you have time now to pay it. Don't wait until after the holidays when money is tight and things are, crazy. Make sure you're taking care of that now and pay your NCJR dues. And if you have not paid your E&O, again, this isn't optional. You don't pay your car insurance fees when you get into an accident, right? You have to have the car insurance prior to. The same thing with E&O and your earnings and emissions. If you do not have pending business, you have to pay that fee right now before the end of the year, okay? It's not optional. So just wanted to go through those little housekeeping. New ways to spell success in 2021. The new mentality I want in our office is open all day, every day, right? We are real estate agents. Unfortunately, that is our life. We are 24/7. It's a lifestyle more than it is a career, right? We are on call. We really are on call. And we have the ability to make as much money as someone on call, like a doctor, because of, there's no financial ceiling. So make sure that I really want everyone to get that turkey head out of their mind this year. And I really want people to continue to be proactive in doing things daily up until the holidays and after the holidays. So November's theme, dominate your database through gratitude. This is a great time, guys, to reach out to people and just wish them a happy Thanksgiving and ask them what they're doing for the holidays. It's such an easy call. Everybody should be making calls every day and reaching out to people that they haven't spoke to. And if you are set up properly in your MyWiker, then you would have calls every day to make, and it would make it easier for you to keep up with your database. So make sure you're dominating your database through gratitude at this time. December's theme is create a personalized experience. Make your visitors feel like honored guests. Where do they want to be in 2021? How can you help them accomplish their goals? How can your team help accomplish their goals? Check back with past guests. Have they accomplished their goals yet? If not, what can you do to help them? Offer to provide a drop-off location to support local coat drives or toy drives. A great way. Again, community efforts are always well looked upon by our clients, right? It's a great way to reach out. Hey, I'm doing a coat drive. You can drop it off in my office or I can come pick it up. Great way to reach out to people, great message to send out. So this is a time when people really want to they want to see you and they want to see more community. It's an easy call to reach out to people. So take advantage of this time of year for keeping in touch with your past clients. There's so much things that you can do at this time of year. Anyone who sent you a referral this year, make sure you either send a special gift, a gift card, a $5 cookie from Cheryl's Cookies, whatever it is that you can do. There's inexpensive ways to reach out to people and thank them and being grateful for them passing along business to you or doing business with you, however you look at it. So make a plan today before time runs out to be grateful for everybody who has worked with you this year, who has passed along business for you this year, has given you opportunities this year. So Weichert Realtor has created an open house traffic jam. Like I said, we still having great open house traffic still. So don't slow down on open houses just because it's the holidays. I've always found that this from the end of October into November through February is when I picked up most of my clients through open houses. That's when people are coming out fresh and new into the market and just are starting to get their feet wet at this time of the year. This is the great time to find unaligned buyers. A great time. So take advantage of it and reach out to those listing agents and see if you can get into their homes. Do it during the week, do it on a Saturday, find vacant homes to do multiple times, but get yourself out there and meet people because people are coming to open houses all the time. We're getting so much great traffic. And did you know, I found out this yesterday on NAR, did you know that 70% of people that come through open houses are going to have a house to sell? 70%. So if you're looking for listing opportunities, you need to be in open houses. Okay. So remember that. That's a huge, huge number. Huge. So before we get into Anthony, Amanda Mulvaney is on our call today. Amanda is a supportive attorney in our office. A lot of agents use Amanda for their support, and we thank her. She does an unbelievable job. Her husband and partner is, an expert in zoning and tenant laws and all those extra things that we need help on, and Amanda is always available for us. I know she's super busy right now, and I just wanted to ask her, what exactly, she's seeing in the market and, how she's keeping up with all of the deals that are going through right now. So welcome, Amanda.
Hi, how is everyone doing? Yeah, as Missy said, it's a little crazy busy right now. I think that might be an understatement. From my perspective, the biggest thing is, I think, advising people to all of my file, or the majority of my files are seeing lender delays on them, whether I'm on the buy side or the sell side. Everything is just so backed up. It used to be the majority of everything closed on time. And when we weren't closing on time, it was usually because the parties agreed, oh, let's change the date to this date or that date. 30-day closings are becoming almost impossible. You can take them and you can do them, and I'll tell clients, we can put this date in here, but the likelihood is it's not going to happen. And it's for two reasons. One, lender delays, and number two is issues with inspections. And I think that's a part that I'm seeing a lot of issues with, because getting estimates, getting contractors out, everybody is so backed up. We're having issues even I've seen in files where, someone, a refrigerator goes or something happens and everything's on back order. I mean, everything, it just seems, is backlogged in every aspect of the process. Really important to get inspections done right away and to be proactive as far as getting contractor scheduling, not waiting for sellers' responses. If there's an issue, get it done right away. Getting repairs done is becoming impossible. I'm closing more files with escrows right now than ever before. Usually, no one wants to close with an escrow for repairs, but it's impossible to get stuff done. So, 30-day closings are really tough. I'm telling clients, if you want to do this, you can say yes, but you're probably looking at more 45 days. The lenders, they do their best, but if you want a little bit less stress, a little bit smoother process, 45 days is really kind of necessary right now because everything is backed up. Technically on my calendar right now through the end of November, which is not that long, especially when you factor in the Thanksgiving holiday, because of the backlog of things that haven't closed, that should have closed, I have 22 closings still left through November 30th. Not going to happen. I mean, I already know some of them that are now getting moved to the first week of December and beyond, but it's been really pulling teeth getting stuff done. And it's not the lenders are great, but it's underwriting, and getting stuff through, and, everyone's trying to pull favors and this one has to get done and so forth, but it's tough. So, definitely advise clients to get, reasonable expectations, set expectations, right? Like, hey, we can try and close as soon as possible, as soon as everyone's ready. But, realistically, this is probably not going to close in 30 days. And both myself and other attorneys are starting to push back a little bit too, with some of the things that, really explaining to buyers that you need room in that contract to get your mortgage commitment. When it says less than 30 days, maybe, but, you don't want to put someone out there contractually bound to do something that's almost impossible to do. So the timeframes that everyone's trying to move under, right now, it's crazier than it was even like 2 months ago, which is kind of surprising. But I think there's just been a lot of carryover other files and, that just didn't close. And now everyone's trying to get it done before Thanksgiving and before the end of the year. So definitely be proactive. And then the other thing that I've seen some issues with, because I don't know how everyone else is experiencing, but buyers, it's still a seller's market. Buyers get very nervous. Sometimes buyers are pulling out, they go under contract and then all of a sudden they flake out. I know a lot of my buyers, because they feel pressured and rushed when I start talking to them, a larger majority than normal have not even looked at the seller's disclosure statement. And when we start going through it, there's been issues that I've had a couple deals that fell apart once they noticed things that were in there that they're like, oh, we didn't have time. We're just trying to get this done, and so forth. A lot of them are bidding at the high point of their you know, where they're comfortable with or what their max is, as far as what they're able to afford on houses. And then they look at the seller's disclosure statement and discover really it's going to need a new roof, furnace, and, you know, hot water, you know, all of the things, all the vitals basically need to be replaced. And when they see that, they're backing off because they can't afford it. So you know, everyone's trying to race to get done and go through all the process and all the paperwork. And I know it's you know, everyone's trying to get everything through, but I am starting to see more buyers back out once they start looking at things on both sides of it. When I'm on the seller side and the buyer side, I've seen buyers, you know, flaking out a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely you know, doing a buyer's consultation and setting up those expectations is more, I keep saying, is more important than ever. And in the last month, we've had more fall throughs than we've had, I believe, like this whole year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot, which is adding to the chaos of everything else, because it's just, you know, deals are just coming in and out, and you have one and then boom, you know, you're on to the next, you know, someone's canceling. Either a new deal is coming in and a buyer's getting kicked out, or buyers are backing out because, you know, then once the dust settles after the initial bidding war, you know, and they have a little bit of time to think about it or start going through things, you know, they're starting to get cold feet. I have one right now that, you know, it was there was multiple offers, but now they're coming in and now they're asking for, you know, a $20,000 inspection credit for nothing, because, you know, they realize they're getting cold feet. They basically want out of the deal. So, you know, it's hard.
Yeah, definitely more difficult, more challenges, right? More business equals more challenges in our industry. So,
yep.
for
And
sure.
yeah, and you know, also when, you know, you're talking to attorneys too, you know, I work with a lot of you, and some of you know that there's been days that I say, hey, I can't take this, you know, I'm not going to get to this for 2 days. You know, I try and be out front. If you know, it really depends upon the day and the week. You know, yesterday I had 4 back-to-back purchase closings. That was a really long, rough day. You know, so I mean, I try and be honest if like I'm in the middle and I have other deals that have already come in, to say, hey, I'm not going to get this buyer review letter out. I'm not going to be able to do it for a day or 2 days, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But yeah, make sure they're talking to attorneys about what their availability really is too, to get it done, because we're all super busy. And I know a lot of my colleagues too, you know, we're turning deals away, you know.
I've
certain
heard it
days.
over and over again from different, yep, I've definitely heard it over and over again.
You know, so I know everyone has their favorite attorneys or things like that, but you know, you definitely want to find someone who's going to be available both, you know, for that closing date, and also, you know, has the time right now, you know, on a given day, and have a little patience, because none of us are responding as fast as we used to. I mean, I was still on the phone last night at 7:15, you know, with my last conference call of the day. It's not like we're not working, but it's just, there's so many hours in a day, you just can't always get back to everybody as quickly as everybody wants, especially when, you know, everyone's feeling pressured.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good point. We have to be a little bit more patient these days, 'cause everybody's backed up. Everybody's overloaded and overwhelmed. So have some patience. But thank you, Amanda. Thank you for stopping
Sure.
by today. It's always a pleasure to have you on, and thank you for working as hard as we do the last few months. And I'm sure this will continue. We can only hope it continues, you know, as hard as it is.
Yeah,
and wish you and your
I don't
family-
see it. The market still seems very strong. So.
Oh,
you know,
yes, it's going to continue that way with what we're hearing from all the experts and economists. So I'm going to
Yep.
share that with everybody shortly. But I wish your family a happy Thanksgiving, and thank you so
You
much
too.
for being
Everyone have
such
a happy Thanksgiving.
a great part of our team. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
All right. Take care.
So Anthony, you want to share what's going on in the market with mortgages these days?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Last week, you know, was a bit quieter, you know, with the election and stuff. Obviously, we have a good idea as far as who the winner is at this point. You know, through the week, challenges arose. The bottom line hasn't changed. We've heard a lot of good things. Missy mentioned it before about the vaccine and everything kind of coming up. And rates kind of rose up a little bit on us last week. So we're going to kind of keep monitoring on that. So what we're kind of seeing is obviously a lot of the news around vaccines and things of that nature are going to kind of knee jerk the market in the other direction and potentially push up on rates. So that's something that we kind of keep, mindful of with our buyers, our pipeline clients, people that are out there looking and stuff like that too as well, because as good as enough things have gotten with rates coming down and buying power increasing, we can kind of ebb and flow the other direction. And obviously we don't think things are going to be very detrimental, that we're going to be a point higher in rate week to week. But in regards to that, a 0.25% could make a $50 to $60, $70 difference in payment. So people need to be kind of, aware of that sort of thing. You can flip to the next screen.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of what I was just kind of talking about too as well. Just positive news and medical stuff could make rates rise. It's a reminder of your clients that low rates are never guaranteed unless we're locked in, obviously, and we're closing on time. You heard Amanda as far as what she was saying too as well. We're meeting all our obligations for our clients, but I've been saying this for many months now and for a long time. It's a lot of times the property itself and just the meeting of the minds between sellers and buyers of inspections and challenges and problems with property. Even she was mentioning down to just a water line on a hose refrigerator delaying the transactions. Attorneys never want to hold money in escrow or do things that way on repairs and stuff, because it just kind of keeps things always in play after closing, and they don't want to hear back on that stuff. So in regards to everything, you want to make sure we're closing the home and that there's nothing else being, outstanding that's due or owed or to be repaired. So, it's not only just the meeting of the minds, but, people coming out, service work being done, parts, repairs. It's a challenge across all lines right now. So a lot of times we're just having delays, on that sort of stuff kind of happening. Obviously we've been preaching this for a while. It's obviously working closely with us. We have a good reach on everything and good control on the transaction versus finding out last minute there's a problem or a challenge. Mobile phone app, pretty much everybody here in the office is on it already or using it. If you're not familiar with it, you're still having challenges with it, you don't use it enough, please definitely mention me and I'll make sure I get you on there. There's a lot of new bars. There's not new agents here at the office. So I'm obviously working on getting you guys all branded on, waiting for your social media pages to kind of come alive, your photos and that sort of thing too. If you ever need a refresher, let me know. It's an email call away and I can walk you through, the ease of using the app. Trivia question of the week. What % of home buyers under the age of 35 receive either partial or full down payment assistance from their parents or family members, according to a survey by financial services company Legal & General? A, 22%, B, 43%, C, 56%, and D, 15%.
C.
B.
B.
C.
B.
C. I'm not giving my kids any money.
That's good. They took it all already, Peter. You don't have any left between them and Brenda.
The answer is B, 43%.
Yay.
And it's like every other deal. Someone's getting some form of funding from a family member to help with the transaction for sure.
How else are we going to get them to move if we don't give them money?
Exactly. Yep. It's another world now, for sure. Definitely. So gift money is a major way to make purchasing a home affordable for first-time buyers. So don't forget that. Always ask your clients, do they have a place that they can get some extra money if needed? So I'm going to go over a brief state of the market. Does everybody know Lawrence Yun or Yoon or Un, however it's always said differently? He's the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors. Okay. So it's one of the people I follow to just make sure, I'm kept in touch with everything going on in real estate. So the state of the market, pending home sales in September of 2020 was down, right? Month over month because of, pending home sales. I'm thinking homes on the market. It was up, I'm sorry. And we were up in the Northeast. We are seeing a huge increase in everything that we're doing. So up 119.4% month over month. Existing and pending home sales, and this is all information from September, obviously. So existing sales monthly movement in September, 6.54 million. In August, it was 5.98, so we were up almost 10%. As far as existing sales, year-over-year movement, we were up 20%, almost 21, and pending sales, year-over-year movement, we were up 20% as well. So, and that was year-over-year from 2019 to 2020. Oopsie, what did I do? Okay, so housing types, year-over-year movement, single-family homes are up 21.8%. Condominium and co-op sales are up 13.6%, and vacation homes are up 34%. Isn't that huge? So I know the agents, the managers, and the offices in the shore towns in New Jersey specifically have seen a huge, crazy increase in their sales, and they're still having a really crazy, unprecedented fall and going into the winter, because most people now do not want to travel. They want to make sure that they can still have a place to go, especially if we're quarantined, or, you know, a lot more people are working from home. So then they have the availability of going to work, you know, during the warm months down the shore. So has gone up drastically this year. 34% is huge. The Northeast. So our regional home sales, year-over-year movement in the Northeast is up 22.9%. Home prices, median home sales prices monthly movement is up in September from August. So just month over month, 0.5%. And median home sale prices year-over-year movement from last September to this September is up 14.8%. So 103 straight months of year-over-year gains. So everything is moving in the positive direction, and we're going to continue to see this moving into 2021. That's where I really want everyone's mindset to stay where it is, because I think it's huge. Weichert average sale price history. So as a company, our average sale price history from January 2000 to October 2020. So just look where we were in January 2000. And then in 2005, 2006, right? You see that huge appreciation. And then it went down and stayed a little bit steady, right? So, you know, prior to our 2005, 2006 market, we were at about a 6 to 8% yearly appreciation, right? And then that year, I believe it was up like 25%. And then the buyers finally said, you know, my cost of living is not going up as high as the prices of homes, and that's when things started to tank again. And then we stayed pretty consistent. So we were at about a 3% appreciation up and down since 2009 until this year, obviously, where we're up drastically again. So 17.95% one-year change and 19.55% five-year change. So again, great numbers, all positive. Our inventory unsold in September, 2.7 month supply. August was 3, and September of 2019 was 4. So we were still in a good market last year, but not as great as we were this year. Total housing inventory monthly movement, September 2020, 1.47 million units. In August, we were 1.49. So we went down slightly from August into September of this year. And then total housing inventory year-over-year movement. So 1.47 million units this September compared to 1.82 million units last year, which is a 19.2% deficit. And that's because we are not seeing the inventory, right? That's one of the reasons our market is where it is, the shortage of inventory. Supply and demand, right? It's always one of the biggest ways that we move forward in real estate specifically. So we are not seeing those homes come on the market. Right now it's slowed down, right? That's what happens at this time of year when people start saying, I'm just going to wait till the new year. I don't want people in my house during the holidays, that's typical. But like I said, the buyers are out in droves still. The buyers are still out in droves. We still have to plan for January. I always said this, and I feel that more than ever, January is our spring market as a real estate agent. This January starts our spring market. not March, April, May, when the weather starts warming up. It's January, and January is going to hit us, and you want to be prepared. Okay, you want to be in the right position to take on January this year, because I believe it's going to be stronger than ever. So our local market absorption rate, again, we're at 100.1% of average list to sale price in Morris County as a whole. Some towns obviously are much higher than that, and some towns are probably at about 99%, right? No one's lower than 99% at this point. So we're still seeing very, very historically low absorption rates throughout our market area, as you can see. And, you know, how are you preparing for 2021? That's my question to you today. How are you preparing? What are you doing? If things are slowing down, what daily activities are you putting in right now to assure you have a strong 2021? So our new listings on the market. Joanne, are you on? I know you were running home to get on. You could tell us about your 5 Georgian Court in Morristown at 950. No? Okay. I don't know if Joanne's on or she's not able to get onto the microphone. If anybody is on and wants to talk about any of their listings, just please stop me. So Michael Elms has 40 Meadow Bluff Road in Parsippany at 759. He also has 45 Hill Street in Morristown at 925. And 137 Western Ave in Morris Township for 499.5. A lot of great new listings coming on, or that have recently come on. Neil has 224 Central Ave in West Caldwell for 529.999. And Dominique Scara has 27 Sussex Ave, number 2 in Morristown for 350. So anyone have anything else coming on the market? Price improvements coming soon or in search of?
I have something coming on Friday, late Friday. It's a nice cape in Rockaway. It's a 3-bedroom, 3 full bathrooms. It has like a...
The inside, they have a lot of carpeting. And that hardwood.
I muted Lonnie.
Did you? Thank you. And it has a nice bonus like guest suite, so it's really like a 4-bedroom, and it's going for $389.9.
So I just want to share with you, Deb came to me last week about this home she was listing, and it wasn't coming on until this week. And I said to her, you know what, let's take advantage of this weekend, meaning this previous weekend, right? We're heading into the holidays. Let's take advantage of this previous weekend. I said, can you get an exclusive from them? And can you do an open house this week, even though we're not going to list it, you know, officially? You can market it on the social media sites, not only on her social media pages, but on the Weichert McDonald region page and the Weichert Albany region page, so that it goes out to other Weichert agents. Put out your signs, you know, put out a lot of signs throughout the neighborhood when you're having it. And she had 3 people come through. So take advantage of, if you have an upcoming listing and your clients will allow you to get into an open house, I don't know why you wouldn't do that. I don't know why you wouldn't take advantage and get into an open house and get that word out prior to it hitting the market. It's just, you know, with so much limited inventory, to be something that you have that is not out there, I think it's a great opportunity. And she did it. And, you know, she took advantage of that. And, you know, obviously she's glad she did. So
I think it could be a possible offer. There's like one agent that was not, it's a Brand X agent who was really pushing to put an offer through.
because her clients came through. So again, you know, we can do that in the GSMLS market area. We can't do that in the NJMLS market area. So we're fortunate to be able to do it up here. That we can still market a home without it being publicly market a home without it being on the MLS. So while we still can do that, let's take advantage of that if we can. And if your clients are willing, get yourself into an open house. I'm telling you, you're going to get people through even without internet marketing these days. That's how popular, you know, that's how many buyers are out there. Anybody else have anything new coming on or that they want to share with us?
Sneha and I have that 5-bedroom, 3 full bath, finished basement house in West Orange coming out. It's going to be on Weichert exclusive for a couple of weeks, so you guys can sell it. It's in West Orange, New York City views, priced at $695.
Yes. So again, you guys have a listing there that you could share with your clients, right? That they don't know about, that they can't find. Take advantage of that opportunity. That's one of the things that sets us apart from Zillow, right? Zillow and Truly and Realtor.com cannot provide that information about that listing right now, but you guys can. And again, when we talk about setting yourself apart, that's one of the things I'm talking about. Think about this for 1 minute. Where have you gone that you've had such a great experience that you've spoken about it to everybody? Whether it be a restaurant, whether it be, I tell you all the time, I don't know if if I've shared this recently, but I'll remind you, Brogan Cadillac, that's where I got my car, right? When I tell you, they provide such an experience that I talk about it to everybody I know when someone talks about a car. So you go in there, because the way that they set up their compensation for their dealers, they're not all against each other. Whatever cars are sold that day, I guess it's split between all of them equally. So they don't feel the need to run and attack you when you walk in the door. So whoever up next comes to you and just introduces themselves and tells you their name and says, if you need me, I will be back here. Please reach out to me. So it's very comfortable, because if you did not feel like you needed anything, you could just walk out the door and never feel like someone was, on top of you. That's number one. And then once you're ready and they take you through the process, when you go and pick up your car, and I get a pre-owned, I don't get a brand new car. I get a certified pre-owned. When you go to pick it up, it's totally clean. The gas tank is totally filled. He takes you into this garage that's spick and span, okay? And then before he lets you go, he goes, okay, I want you to set your mirrors. And he stands in a certain part behind your car and he puts his hand in a certain way and he says, okay, can you see my hand? Set your mirror to there. Okay, let's set you up on OnStar. Let's set you up with XM. Let's set you up with all these things. And so in my experience, I thought, okay, that's how car dealers work, right? That's how a car dealer works. I've only been to one, and that's the way it worked, and it was a great experience. My husband, as you know, is like Buzz, Carol's husband. They have a passion for Corvettes and those fancy sports cars. So a few years ago, we were going to pick up his car, and it was actually being purchased at a Jaguar or extremely expensive car dealership. What's the one that starts with a B?
Bentley.
Bentley. Thank you. Okay, so I'm walking around while we're waiting for the guy to call us in, and I'm looking at Bentleys, and they're $250,000. I'm saying, this is a mortgage. This isn't a freaking car. Like, who buys a $250,000 car? Right? I'm walking around. So the guy calls us in. My husband signs whatever. And then he gives us the keys and tells us to go out. And I'm like, wait a minute. No. Now, I was expecting like triple the experience because we're at this high-end car dealer than at my Brogan in Little Falls, right? It was not the same. So what I'm saying to you is, do you provide an experience to your clients that they wanted to go around and tell everybody about because it's so different than what other people are doing? Right? You can do that. You can absolutely provide such an experience that people are like, oh my God, I worked with Lonnie and Deb and they were just like fantastic. Like, I can't believe they went above and beyond in every way. Like, I just felt like I never had an experience like that before. You can provide that, guys. And that's what I want you to think of. Think about that experience. Think about the best experience you've had somewhere and how you can replicate that in our business as an agent moving forward. Because I think that's huge, right? So again, I had a few extra minutes and I went over and I apologize, but I thought about this because Lonnie and I were actually speaking last week about appliances. You know how all the appliance dealers now, everybody's backed up, and I don't even know if you can get a better deal from one to another. So right now, you're just going to go to an appliance dealer if you need something based on their availability, how quickly you can get something probably. But if one of them gave you an experience of a lifetime, you'd probably go to them and wait in a little extra longer, right, for that appliance just because of what the experience is. So again, just think about that. Think about what your experience is and how you're providing that to your clients and how you're going above and beyond, especially in a world where they can find anything on the internet and they don't need an agent in their mind, right? They really truly need you, but they don't, these are the things. Set yourself apart. I want that to be your goal of how you're going to set that up moving forward until the new year. And then the new year, you're going to start off running with your new experience and how you, and how people are going to look at you moving forward. So anyway, I hope to see you guys. I'm going to continue to reach out to you, but if I don't, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Have a safe and healthy one. I'm here. Obviously, we're here moving into Thanksgiving. Then we're closed Thanksgiving and Friday. Silvana will not be here next week. We gave her the week off. I don't know whose great idea that was, but Silvana is getting some time off next week. Well deserved, because she's been working her tail off. As busy as you guys are, is as busy as she is, right? So I just want to end this meeting, and then I'll see you again on the meeting in 2 weeks, which will be, December 3rd or something.
So no meeting next week?
No meeting next week.
Okay.
But there is a call session in place, 9 to 11. So we're doing a company-wide call session to keep everybody engaged, but no, there will not be a meeting next week. So I will be on the company-wide call session. Hope to see you guys there.
Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Hey, could I say something, Missy?
Sure, Phyllis.
Yeah, last week, those of us that went to the class afterwards with Stephanie, we learned so much. So if they really want to learn the system, I advise that they go to it today. Don't waste your time. It's a great class. She does a
Thank
great
you.
job.
Yes. So 11:30, Stephanie will be
Happy
having the class
Thanksgiving, everyone. I love you
for
all.
Listing Machine.
Okay.
Yes. And before I stop, can I just ask you guys a question real quick? Someone just texted me, maybe they're on here. Do you require a home inspection on a new construction?
Yeah.
Does
Some
anyone-
people do.
Some people do?
Yes, absolutely. I've
Okay.
had a problem with, even though new construction has that 10-year warranty,
Mhm.
sometimes the homeowners get in there and there's a problem and they don't even know there's a problem, and then it takes forever to get the builder's home warranty to work. So a lot of times people do home inspectors. If you know the builder, like in Pulte or something like that, and it's for the townhouse, it's not really as critical because they have people on site all the time. But yeah, I've had people do it and they were very happy with it.
All right, Greg, thank you
That's
so much.
interesting.
I'm going to
I
share.
have another question.
Okay.
Has anybody, with all this increase in pricing and everything, has anybody had issues with appraisals?
Yes, they have. I can tell you because they dealt with me, but if anyone's still on the call that wants to share their experience, please do.
Yes, Catherine, I am even having problems getting things to appraise.
There you go. Yes. And I don't know why it's more like this the last few weeks or this month. I would have assumed by now the home prices would have caught up to where we are, right, to this market at this point versus back in August when, things still hadn't closed yet, but yet things were still appraising, and now they're not appraising. I'm not sure why things haven't caught up.
I just had an under appraisal of almost $70,000, which is crazy. The buyers had waived their mortgage commitment, so it ended up being their problem. But I had been the one to meet the appraiser. I gave him comps. I talked to him. I thought everything was perfectly fine, and thought maybe if it did under appraise, it would be maybe by 10,000, because this house had things that others didn't. But it never could have saw that coming. And I got a call yesterday from Jim Malloy, who's a neighborhood appraiser, that a house that I had sold and had both sides on 2 years ago was now selling privately for like $50,000 more than these guys had paid for it. And he's like, there's no way I can appraise this. He's like, I just I don't know, I just wanted to tell you. But he said, you know, that he an appraiser has been having some trouble because things are so crazy. I have a couple of houses now that when I'm comping them for my buyers, the market's up 10-15%. I mean, we're seeing $50,000 differentials like in Mount Olive in particular. You know, I'm looking at comps and I'm like, all these houses that were nicer sold 6 months ago for $50,000 less. So it's not surprising to me that the comps haven't caught up. The market is
and plus I
bonkers.
think and I'm starting to think they're anticipating the problem. So they get more, when my experience with appraisers, they get more and more and more conservative. So when it gets this crazy, and especially when people are waiving, when people waive the appraisal, what do they have to lose?
Exactly.
Crazy.
It is so crazy out there. I agree. So crazy. So yes, Catherine, that's our new problem, right? We're always gonna have something where a challenge.
No, I'm not freaked out about it. I'm just encouraging my buyers not to waive the appraisal, and they keep losing everything because everybody's waiving the appraisal, but I can't help it. I don't feel comfortable with it myself. So my clients that are in the market to buy right now are in no position to waive anything. So like that. So they just can't do it. Anyway.
So guys, one more last thing that I remembered since I saw Cheryl on the phone, and I know Cheryl has a lot of deals she needs to hand in ASAP. We are like 35 units away from our goal, and we basically have a week, right? Because we have Thanksgiving. So please, please, please hand in your sales so we can hit our revenue objective for the month. We have a strong one, but I know we can do it. So please hand it in, Cheryl.
I sent in a couple already. Silvana has a couple already. But as far as the appraisals go, guys, just one thing to really keep in mind, because I see agents who are owners of their own companies, and I'm asking them for the comparables to justify it. And they're giving me, comps where the houses are twice the size of the same house. And what they're not understanding is that 1,000 to 1,200 square feet is a huge adjustment, even on a lower priced home. You're talking like a $30,000, $40,000 adjustment just for that. So just keep that in mind when you're comping everything out. Unfortunately, our buyers want it, and there's nothing we could do. Just keep fighting them.
Just keep fighting them.
Just keep fighting them. And give the other agent a dose of reality, because there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's tough, very tough. Well, thank you guys. It was great seeing you today. Great spending time. Thanks for your insight. Love you all.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Everyone.
And get on to Stephanie's meeting.
Oh, and she's great.
Thank you, Missy.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Missy.